Hey, everybody. Tonight we're going to do an interview with Joker's Nation. Everybody say hi to Joker.
How's everyone doing?
Hi, Eric. Happy birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday, buddy.
Ida, hello. How are you? So, we're going to start. People will be popping in slowly. So, how did you get to name your channel Joker's Nation? Is there a
Um,
story behind that?
well, the nickname Joker's always been, I was always known as being a practical joker. I've always been that way. And after I got a tattoo on my, well, let's see if it'll show up, on my forearm of a court jester, kind of an evil looking court jester. And everyone called it the Joker. And after that, just a nickname kind of stuck.
Okay, so
So when I started the channel, I thought, well, I need to come up with something interesting. So when I came up with first was Joker's Exploration Nation. And the problem is that's a tongue twister.
yeah.
Um, there's times I would be live and I'd be like Joker's Exploration Nation or uh, expiration, explanation. It was hard to say. It was almost like a tongue twister. So I basically finally, after probably 2 weeks, said Joker's Nation. It's just we'll do that, because it was actually supposed to be Joker's Exploration Nation, which I have on my jacket.
Okay.
So yeah, it was based off of just my nickname, and I figured that it'd be better to use a nickname versus a real name because of people getting swatted using their real names.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And your channel is about exploring and some paranormal as well?
right when I started the channel, I kind of had the idea that I wanted to highlight the things that I enjoy doing. Um, I've always been big into the history, looking at places that are in ruins and kind of visualizing everything that went on there at one time or another. And for me, the exploring, I did that ever since I think my mom said that I was 5 years old and I would go exploring in the backyard. um, I would go to the woods and explore, and growing up it was something I did quite a lot.
Mm.
We had the Wolf Mansion. I used to go explore there when it was empty. The Nike base, I would explore there all the time. And it's just something that I've had a passion of. The paranormal is something I've really enjoyed. It's something that I've always been drawn to. And then in 1990, after my motorcycle accident, I really was drawn even more to it because of the experience that I had during that time. Um, so I figure what better to do than put my two passions together and do videos about them. Recently, I've started doing different videos like, the family or some drone footage or, the racing. Racing's another thing. So basically, my channel, if I had to sum up my channel, is kind of like what I was saying off air, is that my channel I wanted to put together so that, you know, maybe my great grandchildren, they didn't get to meet me, I'm gone. They could actually go on here and actually see who their great grandfather was. And
Yeah.
for me, that's kind of the lineage that I want to leave, is that, you know, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, and so on can go and look and see what Papa was like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I started and kind of what the direction I want to take was.
Okay. We got some people that popped in. We have LLTTF.
Yep.
Hey, how's it going? Be careful driving and listening. Then we got Mark B. Mark B, I would like to say thank you for the shout out video you did for me. I really appreciate it. Then we have Barbara.
Barbara Ann.
Hey, girlfriend. So, like we were saying, this is Joker's Nation. We'll repeat a bit for the people that just popped in. So, you named your channel Joker's Nation because Joker was your nickname.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And you explore and you do paranormal.
Correct.
And when can we expect one of of the other videos?
Right now, working on this golf cart's pretty much preoccupied majority of my time, and then those that have seen my puppy is actually took a lot more of my time. Whew, that dog's got some energy. So I've kind of backed away from putting out any videos. It's been quite a while. I put out some racing videos, but I do plan on really soon getting back in here to the lab. I've got over 40, I think it was 48 different Explore videos that I haven't put out. From the team that I used to explore with, I'm still going to put those out. So it's one of those where I went through the health issues, as you were aware, and
Mhm.
I kind of had to back away and
Okay.
kind of let things calm down. And then in that process, I had the golf cart build going on, and then the puppy. So,
Yeah.
hey, Eli, how's it going? So yeah, it's one of those where I know a lot of people are like, man, your channel's kind of stopped putting out content. What's going on? Are you leaving? No, I'm not leaving. It's sometimes on YouTube, and after a year of just hitting it hard, a full year of just hitting it hard, video after video after video, I was putting out 3 videos a week for several months of doing that, and it got to the point to where I was like, I need to step back a little bit, and slow the roll a little bit. So I backburnered a bunch of footage, kind of squirreled it away, and I plan on dropping quite a bit here in the next couple months. So normally during the summer months is when I'll do more drops of videos because, it's too hot to be out there, exploring and
Yeah.
doing stuff. I'm more of a
Yeah, it can get hot.
spring fall explorer.
Uh, hey, Lisa. Okay. So like in the past, what kind of locations did you explore? Was it only houses or you had
Um,
commercial places as well?
I explored when I first started exploring. Like I said, some of those places were we had these trails by my house. Oh, oh, okay. Sorry, it was the wife. Um, we had these trails. I explored those, and then I got into exploring the army base, the old Nike army base. Got to go underground in there because they had all these tunnels underneath it, which
Oh,
that sparked me into getting into it. And from there, it just kind of went to, exploring old businesses or ruins of towns that are no longer there. And then that went into, exploring Gary with the crew that I used to explore with. And it just went from there. And I love it all. I mean, it doesn't matter for me. Like I said, it's the history of it, you know. Um, I've gone to Washington and went through, old ruins that, Washington's old house and Lincoln's old house and, different places like that. Of course, they've been renovated, but there's still ruins out there. And we did some exploring of those, which is really cool. So it's, if there's a history on it, it piques my interest. Um, and sometimes those places that you don't know nothing about, you see an old abandoned farmhouse on the side of the road. I'm that guy that'll stop and go check it out. Most
okay.
people look at them and go, oh, that's cool. I want to go and see what's there. For me, I think half of the fun isn't just finding stuff there. It's having through your mind, seeing what it was like in its prime, and that was kind of one of the things that I was talking about on cork boards with, when I do a diner, I want to put some sound effects of like plates clanging together or silverware, being dropped or people just talking. Just put a
Mhm.
little short clip of that in there so that it reminds people this was a thriving place at one time. It kind of brings you back. And for me, I really enjoy doing that. And I think that it adds a little element to the video to give people that kickback to reality that, yeah, this place is dead now. You're looking at, I know it sounds morbid, but you're looking at a corpse that's decaying. And you need to remember that that was a person at one time. So the business that you went to or the house that you went to, you got to remind yourself that that was somebody's home. Somebody brought their brand new baby there, or somebody had the last meal with a relative before they passed there. Someone may have had their first kiss there, their first date. They celebrated their anniversary there. So for me, it's all those things that I think about. A lot of people, well, I just go because I like the cool pictures. Well, that's fine. That's your choice. But for me, it's more of the history of it.
Yeah, the
It's
stories behind if only walls could talk.
it's it's like you're reading the book and you're trying to figure out how it got to there. You're kind of at the end of the book trying to see how it got there. So for me, it's one of those where I like that thinking. It makes me think, and I am a thinker. I've got an overactive mind where I'm constantly thinking about stuff.
Okay.
Of course, the wife hates it when I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about stuff. Killing me, small. That's what she says a
Okay.
lot. Sorry.
Okay, Ed has a question from LLTTF. What was your craziest experience?
Um, I think paranormal. Um, are you speaking paranormal or are you talking about exploring? Because exploring, I had a pretty crazy one where I was walking and took 3 steps, and on the third step, I ended up falling through a floor. Thank God there was a floor joist directly under me that caught me. Otherwise, I would have probably dropped the full 8 feet into a basement, um, which could have been really bad. Now on the paranormal side, I've had a lot of different things. Paranormal. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay, I got some new people coming in. I have Nicole. Hi, Nicole. And Urbex44. Salut, ça va?
Hey, Urbex.
Okay.
I was exploring actually, let me shut that ringer off so that don't keep going off. Sorry about that. I was exploring a abandoned nursing home. The state had shut the nursing home down due to abuse and due to a lot
Oh,
of death. And they were really bad to where the state said that um, it was just unfit for people to be in. It just health board of health said no, we're done. Um, so they shut it down and they sealed it up, and we had found out about it, so we went out there to explore, and we explored it, and it had this creepy factor. So me and one of the guys I explored with, we went back, and I brought the full spectrum, and brought the spirit box, and brought the EVP recorder, uh, brought the data logger, and there was just this weird vibe in there, but I didn't catch any real evidence. So we were packing up, and we're packing up and we're standing in the great ballroom, and I'm talking to this guy, and all of a sudden I see somebody walking over his it would be his right shoulder on my left side because he was facing me, and I see this guy walk behind him, and I'm like, my brain's like, oh crap, there's a cop in here, or there's a homeless person in here. So I'm like freaking at that point, and I'm like, dude. And then I just stopped and I was staring, because as it came through, the old man come through on his right shoulder, there was a window behind him and I could see all the way through him. But what was really cool is that I was able to see full definition. It was an older guy. He had the jowls, where the skin comes down. He kind of has those bulldog looking jowls. Had the gray hair that was kind of all crazy looking, but it was like he was rocking the Dr.
Wow.
Phil look, just a boomerang of hair. And as he walked, he had that hunchback where he just kept shuffling his feet, and he just walked right past.
Wow.
And at first I was just like, my first thought was there's a homeless person or there's a cop in here. And then when I realized I
Yeah.
saw through him, I just locked. And, I got a camera sitting here in my hand that I could have took a video, but I was like, it was such a shock, because I wasn't expecting to see this. And he looked at me and he says, "What did you see?" And it was like, it snapped me out. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "What did you just see?" And I was like, dude, he's like, "I know you saw something." He's like, "Your face drained of color. Your pupils were huge." He's like, "Your whole face was showing it. There was no denying it." So, man, I cracked out the full spectrum, ran to the hallway, and nothing there.
It's God.
And that to me, I think was one of the most impactful things I'd ever experienced. Um, I've experienced seeing the reflection of somebody in a window at night, uh, but never saw somebody walk across the room like that. Just walk down the hallway. He was walking down the hallway, shuffling his feet like an old man in slippers would do. I was able to see the definition of the hospital gown he was wearing. It was a white hospital gown with the little blue plus signs. We've all seen that style. And he just shuffling his feet, head down, just walking down the hallway.
Wow.
That to me was, yeah, it was one of the most, it's definitely a top shelf find. I'll just put it that way. It's a top shelf
Okay.
find.
Ida wants to know which is your preference, exploring or paranormal?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think uh, I think with the paranormal, it's something that I'm passionate about because of my own experience. Um, I had a near death experience, and I actually saw myself on the operating table, heard things that there's no way I should have been able to hear. Um, I saw myself as I floated away in energy form on the reflection. I saw my mother talking to my ex at the time and heard things that she said. And I saw 4 people that were very near and dear to me, and actually was able to bring a message back, proving that my friend Craig wasn't a suicide, it was a murder. And the police were able to prove that it was a murder, all because of what I was able to tell his younger brother. So for me, experiencing what I experienced, I know that there's something there after we leave. There is a consciousness. Time is irrelevant. So time that you think is relevant is not. Um, I was dead 2 minutes and 38 seconds one time, 2 minutes, 48 seconds second time. And during that time, it felt like I was gone for hours. So it's some of those things that, people, when they're doing paranormal, they want to know, can they hear you? Yes, most definitely they can hear you. Um, whether or not they could communicate with you like I'm communicating now, I didn't really try to, so I can't say for sure. Um, but I remember the feelings. I remember the things that I heard and things that I saw. And everyone that was around the surgeon was a non-believer. And when I sat down and I told him exactly what he said, what he did, he said, there's no way you can know that. He says, your eyelids were taped shut. You were face down. You were in crucifix form because they had my arms strapped to the table, like crucifix style.
Mm-hmm.
And my back was split wide open. He said, there's no way you could have saw that. And he was blown away
Wow.
because I was able to describe the equipment he was using. I was able to describe what he told them to use on me, what to push, IV push, and things like that. I was able to tell exactly what increment they did these shocking paddles, the joules. I never knew what a joule was. A joule is a measurement of electricity that they use when they shock people back. I was able to tell him the increment that he used. He said, there's no way you could have known that. Um,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
know, and it blew him away. And then when I was able to tell my mother what her conversation with my ex was, that blew her away because there was no way I should know that, because when they were talking, I was already in surgery for over 8 hours. So there's no way I should be able to tell what their conversation was. And then
Wow.
the final thing was my friend Craig was brought into the hospital 10 hours, or sorry, no, he was in the hospital 10 hours after I came in. He was brought in, actually, it would have been 8 hours after I had started surgery, is when I saw him, meaning that he was dead 2 hours before, or did I say that right?
Okay.
I went into surgery and then he came in 8 hours after, is what it was. But I had saw him right away when I had my experience. I didn't know he was dead. So there was no way for me to put two and two together. And then after I came out, I found out that he came in after I did and that he was on life support, that there was no brain activity. So it's kind of like that tied everything into a nice little big bow. So it was,
Okay.
yeah. So
Wow. Okay.
long story short, paranormal is uh, it's my huge passion. I mean,
Okay. Nicole has a question. What was your scariest paranormal experience while exploring?
um, with paranormal, I don't get scared. Um, so for it being scary, actually, I've never had anything that was really scary paranormal wise. Shocking, but not scary. Um, I don't know whether it's because I don't have those negative experiences that a lot of people have. I don't know whether it's because they're not attracted to me. Some people, they swear by demons. I don't. I don't believe that. I honestly, I believe what I've read, and it's 13 demons in the whole world. And I just have a hard time believing that of those 13 demons, there's a demon in some basement in Gary. I have a hard time believing things like that. That's
Okay.
just me. That's just
Okay.
my opinion. So I don't really have a scary, not really
Okay.
scary.
Tammy has a question. It's what is the scariest thing you have found? Like, did you find something scary?
Um, Scary, not necessarily startling. Disturbing, yes. Exploring, we found a dogfighting ring.
Oh,
Um, I've actually went into houses and found the remains of dogs that were left tied to furniture. But scary, no. Disturbing, yes. And that I think is, for me. I love animals big time. Um, so finding a remains of an animal is, for me, is probably would be scary for you. For me, it's disturbing. It's
I'd run.
it hurts. It hurts soul wise. It hurts seeing that.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah, there's not much.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of much. And it's not to try to be a tough guy. It's just that um, after losing a child, fear is nothing for me now. Um,
Mm,
a lot of people fear death. I don't fear death because I know what's there, so I don't even fear that. Um, I think the only fear I have is leaving my family. That's about the only fear that I have in my whole body is the fear of not seeing my family. So I mean,
okay.
for explorers and stuff like that, not much. I mean, falling through the floor was kind of scary. I'm not going to deny it.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself too much, though,
uh,
falling through a floor.
I straddled a beam, so it kind of was painful, but I think it hurt my pride more than anything because I was recording and it's like 1, 2, 3, and the camera was gone. It was
Okay.
rough.
Ni-
It was it was rough.
Nicole has a question. Have you heard paranormal experience all your life? Have you had? Oh, sorry, I didn't read it properly.
I
So,
have I have had paranormal experiences as long as I can remember. Um, I remember after losing my grandfather, actually hearing him talk to me at night. Um, so for me, it's Brandon from Psycho Ghost Tractors. He loves when I go out exploring with him or doing investigations with him because he calls me his paranormal magnet. If there's going to be activity, it'll definitely show up when I'm around. And I don't know if that's because I've always been that way, because I have had a lot of experiences, or whether it's because a theory that I have is that after my near death with the motorcycle accident, um, it seems like it amplified. And my theory is that, sorry about the dog barking, he's going nuts out there. Um, it's one of those where we're energy. You guys have all heard people talk about it, and energy has a frequency. And my theory is, and I haven't been able to prove it, but my theory is that when I traveled across, I got a different frequency because I was in pure energy form at that. I was no longer solid mass. Um,
mhm.
when I saw the reflection of myself on the window as I was floating up, it was just an undulating color, almost like a cloud, just undulating, rotating, changing. It was that is what I saw as my own energy, my own aura, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Mhm.
I believe that when we transfer over to that, we are at a different frequency. And because of the fact that I came back, not once, but twice, that maybe I'm still putting that frequency back out. And people that have passed are attracted to that frequency because that's somebody that's passed. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like how would I put it? Kind of like, you can lose somebody, but you could still remember them when you smell that scent. Everyone has their pheromone scent, and you smell that pillow and it smells like the person you lost. So my theory is that's the way it is. Are you being holy
Okay.
terror out there?
Yes.
I hear it.
I'm about ready to throw him out the door.
Hey, all right. He's being ornery. Sorry about that.
Okay. Tammy has a question. If you could explore, investigate any place in the world, where would it be?
Explore would be Fukushima. I would love to explore Japan, Fukushima, and Japan because of the fact that everyone left so quickly, everything's left where it was. You can't go in there because the radiation's too high, but the people that have went and documented, you walk in and there's still dinner plates sitting on the table just like they were. There's still toys sitting in the
Wow.
floor. There's still everything. It's almost like somebody just clapped their hands and the whole town went empty. Everything was left the way it was. So for me, that would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Paranormal, there's so many places I want to go. Um, there's a lot of people, they want to go to all the hot spots. For me, I want to go to Ireland and hit up castles. Um, for me, that would be a bucket list to hit up the castles in Ireland, the ruins of, places in Scotland and Ireland. And, for me, I think that kind of, with my magnetism to paranormal, with that kind of limestone structure, it'd be the perfect storm, to get activity. That would be my bucket list.
Wow. Okay. Ida has a question. If I find it too personal, it's okay.
No, I'm
You don't have
reading it
to
now.
answer. Uh, okay. She says,
Actually,
sorry for your loss. Did you lose? Okay.
my daughter passed in 2006. My near death was in 1990. So yeah, there was a big difference. Come to find out, me and her mother genetically were not compatible. Um, on the same gene strand, she had a mutation, and my same gene strand, if there was a mutation, it deleted. So basically, my daughter was born with NKH. It's a very, very low percentage of children that are born with it, but my daughter is actually in the textbooks as having the worst numbers they had ever seen. Um, NKH is non-ketonic hypoglycemia. Now, a lot of people go, "Oh, hypoglycemia." No, it's not. Her her genetic code was altered because of you need a gene from mom and gene from dad. She did not have both those genes, and without a gene from one of the parents, it creates a deformity, or a birth defect. Um, her brain did not develop the corpus callosum, which is a bridge that goes to connect left and right side brain. And her brain did not develop what they call a cleavage glycan system. When a baby drinks formula or breast milk, it's high in protein. That protein gets introduced into the bloodstream, gets into the cleavage glycan system, and that cleavage glycan system says, okay, you're going to the liver for enzymes, you're going to the kidneys, enzymes, you're going to muscle, you're going to here, you're going to there, and then what's left, it says, okay, it's safe to send this much to the brain to create glycine, which is what your brain floats in. After 72 hours and given a 10 on the Apgar scale, she had a grand mal seizure and her brain short-circuited because everything that she ate turned to glycine because of the lack of the cleavage glycan system. So after 72 hours, she had a seizure, was on life support, and she was on that for quite a few days. She survived 24 days. It was 24 days of hell that I went through.
Wow.
I did have Father's Day for me is really weird. About 3 years ago, I was standing in the kitchen taking a shot. I'm diabetic, so I was taking a shot, and I turned around and I heard my gate makes a very distinct squeak sound when it's open, and I heard the gate door squeak. And I looked out, and there's a window right at my back of my kitchen that is right where the gate is. And I see this girl. She had to be about 10 to 11 years old. And she looked at me and waved. And I'm thinking, okay, somebody's here. Why are they coming to the back door? So I waved back. And as I watched her walk across and just disappear through the window, I realized the reflection of the cabinet that I'm standing in front of she walked in front of, meaning that she was in the kitchen walking behind me, and I was seeing her reflection on the window, the dark window. My dad's an ordained minister, and he's not one to believe in paranormal, but he was in tears and he said, "Son, I believe your daughter came and said hi to you." And it didn't dawn on me until later that night. It was Father's Day. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. I
no,
I got the goosebumps. Ooh.
sorry.
Okay.
Didn't mean to go
It's
too
okay.
deep on you guys here, but I'm an open book. That's one thing that you'll find out. I'm an open book. Yeah, I overshare. I give too much details, but that's just who I am.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Put them in caps so I can see them bigger. Uh, is okay, we did that one.
Yeah, I'm looking through.
So,
I'm not.
okay. And now you're building a golf cart, like
Yes.
you're pimping it up. What are
Oh
your
yeah.
plans to do with
Um,
this golf cart?
my golf cart's basically going to be my way of um, think of it as a filming dolly. In Hollywood, they've got the camera on a dolly that they move around to get certain shots. Um, I'm going to be doing a lot of kind of riding around with the dog videos, just showing the neighborhood, maybe going a little off road with it, um, driving around some abandoned locations in it. And I'm going to be using it to hit up some spots like around the National Lakeshore Dunes. Um, so showing like Bailey Homestead, a very old settlement where they still do or they still make maple syrup out in the dunes. So I'll be using that to drive around and just get some footage. Um, I'll be using it at the drag strip because I am a tuner for a drag car team. So I'll be using that to film drag racing and just video from around the track. So I plan on adding some more of my life's passion into my channel over the summer. And that's going to be kind of a tool to use to do that. I know
Okay.
not everyone likes drag racing, but I've loved it.
Okay. Nicole wants to know, what's your favorite explore? Like
Um,
your favorite place you went?
I went to quite a few of them over the last year or so, and the funny part is that you would think that it would be one of the big ones, one of the places that I have like 3,000 views on it. But believe it or not, it's not. It's one of my first couple videos on my birthday. I actually went out with my best friend, and we went to a place called Beverly Shores, and we explored the Future House from the World's Fair. And we got busted by the police. We were off road and got busted by the police, got busted by DNR. We explored the Anco wiper blade factory in my town where my mom and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law worked at. And I worked at the one in Michigan City. We got to explore that. And it wasn't just a place, it was the whole day. It was just awesome. And just some of the stuff that we saw and some of the experience I had was just really fun. But like I said, for me, it's more about the history. It's more about the mental tie to the place. Some people, they love hitting up, um, cemetery, or they love hitting up a old mortuary, or they love hitting up schools, or they love hitting up old houses. I like them all. Don't get me wrong, but I think my favorite is the ones that there's a connected history, and for me, it kind of takes me back to a certain time. That's to me is the best kind of explore when
Okay.
it has that adverse effect to you. You know, it makes you think about a certain thing, that certain time, certain experience.
Okay. And where's the farthest you've ever went to go explore? Like 3 states away, 1 state away, out of state,
Um,
or
well, like I said, I did some in Washington D.C., Maryland. Um, did do some in South Africa. I wanted to do some when we were in Dubai, but never got a chance to. But most of my stuff's been pretty much the state of Indiana. That's the bulk of my stuff. I did see a comment that Mike Ant Adventure said, "Yeah, Mike, ministers they talk about the afterlife, not
yeah.
necessarily paranormal. Um, so they talk about heaven and hell. They don't. A lot of what you'd be surprised. A lot of your ministers don't believe in ghosts. They believe your spirit, when you're gone, it's gone. They believe that your soul, without a conscience, like no memories, no nothing, your soul goes to heaven. That's what they believe, or your soul goes to hell. They don't believe in souls or spirits meandering on earth still. And that it's weird. I agree with you. It's weird. But yeah, that's at least that's what I found in my time.
Hmm. Because later on he says, because they always talk about angels and demons
Right.
also.
Yeah, I see what Nicole said too. And like I said, I'm a firm believer that you could have evil spirits, but to understand what a demon is biblically, a demon is a entity that's never walked the earth in human form. Okay.
Yep.
And by reading some of the texts that I've read the Satanic Bible just to understand what one side is. I've read just about every kind of Bible there is, and they do talk about 13 demons. Okay. And these
Mm.
are spawn of hell. They were never human. They never
No, they were forgotten.
right. They were the worst souls that there were. Um, I don't believe that they walk the earth like a lot of these. And I know I might catch some flack. A lot of these entertainers, I'll put it that way, entertainers that have ghost investigation shows. Um, I don't believe that the demons are they running across evil entities? Yes, because there are evil people. If there wasn't, we wouldn't have child molesters. We wouldn't have animal abusers. We wouldn't have spousal abusers. We wouldn't have rapists, murderers. Those are evil
That's it.
spirits. Those are evil
Yeah.
spirits. And I believe a lot of people confuse an evil spirit with a demon. And there's a totally different night and day difference between the two. Um,
Hmm.
a demon can physically harm you. An evil spirit cannot. Um,
Hmm.
At least that's my belief.
Okay.
Like I said, that's my belief. You can believe what you want, you're entitled to it. But that's just my belief.
Hmm. Yeah, because if a person was like pure evil in life, living, well, why would it change after it passed
Right.
away? It'll be still doing what it was doing. That's
Right.
what I believe also.
Right.
Ida has a question. Uh, do you explore any cemeteries?
To be honest, Ida, I have a little unorthodox belief on that. Um, a lot of people they want to go to a cemetery because they believe that that's where spirits will go. I believe the opposite of that. Spirits don't go to a cemetery to hang out. They don't want to see their resting place because then that reminds them that they are gone. I believe more spirits are going to be at places of, joy, places of good memories. So that's why you hear of a lot more spirits haunting houses and less of people getting haunted cemeteries. Um, Cemeteries are creepy places, don't get me wrong. And a lot of times what we find is I argue with people constantly about the Wolf Mansion in my town. I have stayed the night in this place. It is creepy as ever looking, but it's not haunted. But people believe because it's creepy that it's haunted. Um, Residual energy is not haunting. To me, haunting is intelligent energy, um, meaning something that can communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm a little unorthodox on my beliefs, and that's based on my experience and things that I've seen. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, they believe, hey, if there's residual haunting, which is basically like a tape recorder of the same thing happening every night, they believe that that's haunting. Um, Maybe it's because of the way I see things differently. I don't see that as haunting. That is just energy repeating itself. Haunting to me is when something is trying to communicate with you.
Okay.
Residuals not trying to communicate. Residuals just following a pattern, following a loop in time per se.
Okay. And what if, like I was telling you before the show started, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
start a series of cold case files, and I found the location where they found the body.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a paranormal session there? I would. What would it be? You think?
If you
Would there
catch
be?
anything there, I think it would be residual. Um, like I said, spirits are nothing more than people without a body. I mean,
Okay.
there's just that's just a fact of it. A spirit is nothing more than a person outside of a human form. So if you were attacked and you were killed, or say, do you go back to a spot where you were harmed? Say you got into
No,
a
I
fight as a
wouldn't.
kid and you got beat up. Do you go back to that same spot where you got beat up?
No,
No.
not really. No.
You don't want to relive that. So for me, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you got to go where they were killed." No,
Yeah.
you don't, because you're not going to find anything there. You know where I saw that old man walking right outside the ballroom. Why would he go past the ballroom? Because that's where he enjoyed himself when he was there. You're more likely to catch activity in a spot where good memories were made.
Okay.
And that's just human nature. Whether you're alive or dead, that's just human nature. You don't want to go back to where you experience bad stuff. That's, once again, these are my opinions. Everyone is entitled to their own.
Yeah. Nicole has a good quote here. She says,
Mm-hmm.
"People like to be
Yep.
creeped out. Every noise is a ghost."
Actually,
That-
Nicole, me and you agree on that 100%. And I get a kick out of it. Houses pop, they crack. Um, Air moves through a house on a daily basis. I'm a vapor, so I could see where air moves through my house, um, because the vape kind of lingers and it hovers, and then I could see when a wind changes. There's so many people who are like, "Ooh, I feel a cold breeze." Yeah, it's called air moving through your house. It doesn't mean it's paranormal, it's one of those
yeah.
where, like me and Sarge were talking about it on my last live stream. Um, there's a such thing as orbs, and then there's a such thing as uh, dust particles. And
Yeah.
if I take my hand, like I was on the floor playing with my puppy, my camera picked up all these little gray circles everywhere. And several people were like, "Whoa, look at all the orbs." No, look at me moving around the dusty floor, moving the dust. That's what
Mm,
it is. And
yeah.
haunted objects, I, 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 I mm, I don't want to tick a lot of people off, and I don't want to put anyone down. I just have some very, I'll just be honest. I am sick and tired of seeing everyone. I've got a haunted doll. Really? Thank you, Annabelle's creator, for creating this fascination with everyone having a haunted doll. Not every doll's haunted. Okay.
No.
You know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I know people that I think have you even. I think didn't
Yes,
you
I
have one?
have. I've
Right,
done before I presented her to my
right,
subscribers, to my channel and everything. I did so many tests that,
right.
like my K2 monitor would go off right
Right.
beside her, but not like over there.
They
I've
and
tried
that
and
can be
tried.
that could be explained away. Okay, I think that people mistake and hear me out. People mistake haunted items for trigger items. Okay, is that doll a trigger item? Yes, it is, because there's a little kid that sees that doll and remembers playing with it. Remember what I said about good times? That little girl may see that doll that Sandra has and says, "Oh man, that looks like my doll I had when I was a kid." So yeah, you're going to get some spikes every now and then of a K2, because that's a good
Okay.
place. That's a good item. That's something that reminds that child, you know, of a good time. So I think a lot of people want to believe that that doll's haunted. Okay. I've even went and did the research through Amish country. They believe that dolls are ways to capture souls. Um, it seems a little extreme to me. I don't feel a soul can get trapped inside of a inanimate object. But hey, if you believe Chucky's real, rock on. that that's how I tell people. I have unorthodox belief system. Um, Have I seen some things with dolls that makes me go, okay, now that is creepy? Yes, I have. Do I feel that there's that many haunted dolls in the world? Sorry. I, I don't. I don't. But that's just me. Like I said, each person has their own opinion and their own rights. Okay, like that
Okay.
was really weird. I could have
Okay.
sworn my door just opened. That was weird.
Okay. Nicole Perron says that's interesting. So the same would apply to rings and mirrors.
Mirrors is something Mirrors are something that I've done a little research into different theories with the mirrors, and I can see mirrors as being something as a gateway to travel between dimensions, between here and there. Um,
Hmm.
I am a firm believer that that is in the realm of possibility. Do I believe that mirrors are haunted? Not necessarily. Do I believe that spirits can be warranted away from passing through the mirror? Yes. Um, could that explain why so many people capture shadow masses in mirrors? Most definitely, it could. It very well could. But I don't believe that mirrors themselves can be haunted. Like I said, I'm a firm believer that inanimate objects can't be haunted. Um, a house is not haunted. Um, can a house have entities in it? Yes. But like I said, once again, my belief system is that a spirit is trying to experience something that it's lost. And normally it's good memories. That's just
Okay.
that's just how I look at it. Some people may say that I'm an idiot and that I'm wrong. You know what? That's fine. Prove me wrong. You
It's
know,
like Three Souls Paranormal says, anyone ever heard of Robert the Haunted Doll? If it's the one I
uh,
think that's at the Clown Hotel, I think.
yeah, I
I think
haven't.
yes, I did, and Ida also said yes. Okay.
I haven't. The only one
Uh,
I've ever really heard that has been documented to having a lot of, let's just say, odd occurrences that happen around it was the Annabelle doll. But do I
yeah.
believe that a doll can be possessed? No, I don't. Because for something to be possessed, it has to have a soul. How else can it enter? That's just
Okay.
that's just how I look at things very different than a lot of people, because I look at this way, then I look at that way, and then I look at what could be true on both sides. Um, you know, am I wrong? Maybe. Until someone proves me wrong, that's the belief that I'm going to stick with. Can I be swayed to believe differently? Most definitely.
Nicole says, but someone could be attached to an item.
Well, yeah, an item attachment could be, like I said, a trigger item.
Yeah, it becomes a
Not
trigger.
not not attached as meaning like I am going to possess this vape device. I can't. Okay? I am going to possess this alien. I can't. It's an inanimate object. There's nothing that, it never lived. Okay. Um, so by saying that, people are going to be, oh, so you believe in possession? Most definitely. I believe that there are some spirits that hold the power to possess people. Um, do I believe that it happens as frequent as we see on the TV? No. Why? Because I've actually had talks with a couple people. I'm not going to put their names out, but I've had talks with a couple people from those ghost shows that are no longer on them, that left because the producers wanted to amp up the drama. Okay.
Okay.
Meaning that they wanted to create hauntings. They wanted to create items that move. They wanted to create sounds that weren't there. That's where a lot of this, and I don't even want to say the guy's name, but we all know that there's one guy that he does paranormal investigations, but yet we know that he's faking them. We've seen it, we've heard it. He's at times admitted that it's satire. Um, that's where the paranormal field gets a bad rap because of people doing stuff like that. Um,
Mm.
it's one thing to have opinions. It's one thing to have factual evidence. It's another thing to say, I saw a Bigfoot or I caught a chupacabra,
Mm-hmm.
and there's too many people that they do it for this reason. Clicks. They want clicks. They want views. I don't care about
Okay.
that. But
Okay.
there's people that do it.
Yeah. And I remember looking through your channel and I saw a video you put up photos. It was just photos.
Right.
And there'd be orbs.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one you're in the kitchen and there's an orb right there. It's really clearly,
Oh, my purple and green orb. The
yeah,
one
like
that's like a beach ball looking.
yeah, it's really round, perfectly round,
Mm-hmm.
and the clearness to it,
Mm-hmm.
you s- it's that's how I learned that's how an orb is supposed to look like really clear, and there's like an outline of green,
Mm-hmm.
and that different colored orbs are different meanings.
Prismatic is, the one thing with the energy. And this is I'm glad you said that about the color, because when I went, they say, oh, you see the white light tunnel. I didn't see a white light tunnel. I saw a tunnel that was very bright. And it wasn't really a tunnel. It was almost like I was in a football shaped room. It was, curved on the bottom, curved on the top, shaped like a football. But there was color streaks going by, some going toward, some coming back. To me, I believe that was energy spirits going to and fro. So that's why I believe that when you catch an orb that's multicolored like that, I believe that that is a true orb. When you catch a little gray, thing going across your screen that's not flashing, not undulating, it's just floating across your screen. I don't, like Sarge said, I don't believe those to be orbs. I believe those to be, like he said, either moisture grains that are captured by camera flash or lens flare, or they could be lens flare, or they could be bugs. There's so many different things it could be. But when you've got that color added to it, that's something that's hard to deny.
Okay. So, guys, we've made it to the 1 hour mark.
Yep.
So, I left the Joker's YouTube channel on the top. It's pinned on the top and it's in the description. Go check him out and see all his adventures. They are really good. I really like them. And we can catch you on Wednesday nights.
Yes. Lately,
on the live streams.
Lately, we've been hit or miss on Wednesdays. As we get closer to summer, every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, me and Fire Sarge, I've kind of coupled up. Fire Sarge is somebody that he's somebody that I knew in the past briefly, and we've became really connected again. He's an awesome guy. He's trying to start out his channel, so I'm kind of working with him, helping him out, helping get him some exposure. He's a retired firefighter that also is a military vet, awesome guy, and a Freemason. You'll catch me and him. We talk about different subjects. It may be paranormal, maybe exploring, maybe about the Freemasons. There's so many different things we discuss. Sometimes it's classic music, sometimes it's, the 80s music, whatever. So yeah, by all means, please come by, check it out. I do have a paranormal. If you're into paranormal, I have a paranormal playlist. There is a couple videos there. I'd like for some input. There's some EVPs from the Callaway nursing home. I want to see what you guys hear, because I had a lot of people give me different things that they heard. There was 3 of us in the basement, 3 very distinct voices, and then we caught a different voice, and even actually Fire Sarge caught it and told me, he's like, hey, you caught something. And I went and listened, and I personally hear the one guy that I was exploring with say, hey, I'm taking this home. And then I hear the EVP, and what I hear is, excuse me, sir, that's not yours. Now, the weird thing is, when I played it backwards, it sounds like 2 people saying something about it's not yours. So it's a very, very interesting EVP. So if you guys check that out, give me some input, see what you guys think. I love reading that, when people say, hey, I heard this or I heard that. Make sure to check out, some of the videos on there.
And be careful, guys, if you look at his video of the photos, at the end, I got a jump scare when his outro came on. I jumped off my chair. I was so concentrated looking at the photos. And then the music goes on, and they say that. Okay. So I would like everybody to have an awesome weekend and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you all in your next videos. Goodbye.
Hang on a second. They're saying that the link isn't working.
Okay.
Hang on.
You put yours?
Yeah, I was going to
You
say
can
I'm
put
going to
yours.
drop. That should
Yeah.
take you to. Oh wait. Oh, I forgot the www. Oh, did it? Oh no, it took me there. It took me there. Okay, yeah, it did work.
Okay.
I was going to say
So
that
that,
link. That link will take you there.
yeah.
Hey, what's up,
Okay.
Haley? Hey, salute. How's it going?
Okay. So have an awesome weekend, everyone. Goodbye.
And Sandra, thank you for having me here.
It's
Fireside
my pleasure.
to be here, but unfortunately he couldn't. But he wanted to say thank you for putting us on here. And if anyone's got any questions, leave a comment. Make sure to give Sandra a big old thumbs up.
Thank you.